Lisa Ortiz is live in Woodland with the details on season 2 of Yolo's YoYo's.
YoYo's, as it says on the big old banner there. Let me tell you, they have their own show. They are an award-winning reality TV series. So good, it's back for season 2.
I don't need no help, 'cause it's my time to shine, my time to find meaning of this whole life. Yes, this world is so.
Give it up for the food bank right now! Food bank, food bank, food bank, food bank, food bank. What does it feel like to finally be here?
It's amazing. It's amazing what we're going to be able to do for the people in need in this county.
It's been a long journey. We purchased this building about 6 years ago, and that's how long it's taken to get to this point.
Thank you everyone for joining us here today for this very special occasion to officially launch this new hub of food security for Yolo County, its 4 incorporated cities, and many unique communities. Hi, Malia. It's really nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Hannah.
Hi, Hannah.
Hi, I'm Macy.
Hi, Macy.
Hi, I'm Josie.
Hi, Josie. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here with us at Yolo Food Bank today. Thanks for coming. So what a perfect way to spend some time away from school to learn about how we're reducing poverty in Yolo County by giving people enough food to eat. So I'm happy to share with you what we do here and how it's making a difference in our community. You guys want to hear about that?
Yeah.
Great. One thing that's really important to us is to have a sense of gratitude. This entire building was made possible by lots of people who cared an awful lot and had a lot of compassion for people who don't have as much as they do. We're also grateful to people who have helped us with our Nourish YOLO campaign. And those are people and businesses that have given us money so that we can make this building do what it was meant to do. What do you think this building was meant to do? Feed people, right, who don't have enough. Here at the food bank, our mission is to end hunger and malnutrition in Yolo County. And there's about 20% of all the people who live in Yolo County live in poverty and don't have enough to eat.
How many people do you typically serve each month?
So in a typical month, Yolo Food Bank is serving about 23,000 people in Yolo County. And in this building, that's 300% larger than the one we came from. We can do that.
Wow, that's great. Thanks, Joy.
You're welcome. So this is a big treat for us to have this much space. We used to be located across the street in a much smaller facility. It was really a series of metal sheds. So now we have our administration team, our programs team, and the philanthropy team, which is the team I lead. We're all together in one space. So we can work collaboratively.
Joy, tell us about this room.
This room is what's known as a clean room. Behind you, you see a drain on the floor there. You can spray this room down to clean it if you make a big mess. And sometimes we have volunteers in here that make a big mess, but they make a big mess for a good reason. Because they're helping us to repackage food, or to sort food, or to get food ready to go out on a distribution. So we do things like take rice from big 50-pound bags, and we repackage it into 1- and 2-pound bags, because if you were food insecure, if you didn't have enough to eat, and I gave you a 50-pound bag of rice to take home, that'd be kind of hard to carry, huh? But if I gave you a 1-pound bag or a 2-pound bag, you could take it home and your parents or your guardians could help you cook it in a reasonable amount of time, right before it went bad. Either we can give the 1- and 2-pound bags out to people that we're distributing food to directly, or we also work with 72 nonprofit organizations throughout Yolo County that also have food as some part of their work. We also are picking up food 6 days a week from every major grocery store and retailer and processor and distributor in Yolo County. We have a fleet of 8 vehicles that does that. Hannah.
So, where do you get the rice?
That's a wonderful question. So Just like we have generous financial donors, we have generous food donors. In fact, our food donors gave us over 1 million pounds of food just last month.
Wow.
Yeah, and we said wow, and it kept us pretty busy all month. And so among those food donors is a group called Conaway Ranch, and they are the rice growers who are growing in the very low-lying land between Woodland and the Sacramento River. They give us over 200,000 pounds of rice each year that we have to repackage into 1 and 2 pound bags. And sometimes we're even out there harvesting the food. Like they'll say, I'm going to till this under tomorrow unless you can send some volunteers. So volunteers are a very important part of what we do.
Great question, great answer.
Here's some squash that actually came from the farm at UC Davis. Here's New Market Farms, gave us some nice squash. So we really try to get fresh seasonal produce out to people because that's what really helps to make them healthier. Does anybody know what food insecurity really means? Food insecurity means maybe you do have enough calories so that you're not super hungry, but maybe you don't have the right foods. Maybe it's just all junk food. And even right here in Woodland and in Davis and all throughout Yolo County, there are food deserts with food insecure people. This came from Durst Organic Growers. So we get some very beautiful, high quality produce here.
Do you have to like package the food that you get from farms?
We have to, as a staff and as our volunteers, be ready for anything and be ready to move quickly. We need to make sure that time frame is really, really small so the food doesn't go bad.
This is humongous.
It is humongous.
It's like Costco.
And it's funny you say that because I'm going to show you a part of this warehouse that's actually meant to look like Costco. And we actually call this entire facility a food recovery warehouse and operations center. Food that might have otherwise gone to waste for the most part could have ended up in a landfill, right? When if we recover it and can move it fast enough, instead, it can go in people's tummies. It's a big job. The pantry is on campus at UC Davis. So we actually are providing food to every college campus in Yolo County at this point. UCD Pantry is getting so much food from us. They're getting thousands of pounds each week to meet the needs of food insecure students on campus at UC Davis.
Really?
So we actually are delivering to them and we work that out logistically when we're down in Davis. This is food that was packaged in the clean room earlier today and it's labeled by where it's going. This is ready to go to a KFM, a Kids Farmers Market at our Esparto Elementary. So let me tell you about the Kids Farmers Markets. They're at 8 schools throughout Yolo County where there's a very high need. This is meant to make sure that they get fresh produce and some other nutritious foods to take home. So it's set up like a little mini farmer's market, but they don't use real money, they use play money. And they purchase with their play money up to 10 pounds of fresh produce each week, along with some nutrition facts and some recipes, and they take that home to their families. So I'm going to point out, here's a few more kids farmers markets. Wagner Elementary is in Winters. Yes, so this very much is an active warehouse. There's all kinds of safety requirements. I'm glad you wore your closed-toed shoes. That's Randall, and he's moving some pallets around. We're also starting to get ready already for the next day. The day starts very early here in the warehouse, and they work very, very hard when they're here. It's very hard physical work, as you can imagine.
How early does it start?
It can start as early as 6 a.m.
Oh, I can't even get up at 7.
So girls, I want to show you something really cool here. We have, do you know what these are? Do you have any idea what these are? Refrigerators. Are they a little bit bigger than the ones at your house?
Yeah.
Right here we've got a dedicated refrigerator, we've got a dedicated freezer, and then we have what's known as a dual unit. It kind of does both. So I'm going to let you see inside. It's going to be cold.
Now it really feels like Costco. In that cold.
So after we do all of that sorting and packaging, depending on what the item is, it needs to be properly refrigerated. That's going to Tuesday's table. Here's green beans, right here from Durst Organics. beautiful organic tomatoes. This is also from Durst Organic, set aside for our programs team, meaning it's going to one of our direct distributions. More green beans.
Ask Joy what the temperature is in here.
Oh, I actually don't know the answers. Actually, yeah, it's 30.7.
Woo! It would snow in there.
It really felt like.
But it will fluctuate. So we were talking about how the food goes to farm animals when it absolutely can't go to humans. So Bridget's got a load here that's going to go to the farm animals to stay in the food system. Yes, Hannah?
Is that peanut butter?
That is peanut butter. Yes, and this came from Target. So this is an example of how food sometimes comes to us kind of just randomly. You were asking like, how is food packaged? There's no one way. They just pulled them off the shelf and gave them to us. So you're in luck, all the trucks are here. This is what's known as our loading dock. Our old facility did not have a loading dock. So when a load of food comes in, our workers now, they don't have to climb up and down like you'd have to when there's no loading dock. They can walk right on, they can pull the food forward, the forklift can get it and take it back into the warehouse so it can be sorted and properly stored.
So sometimes like if it's like really bad weather, would you guys close?
We always stay open. Other than Sundays and some holidays, we do close. But other than that, we're out there 6 days a week picking up food. This truck right here is particularly special. We call it the Heidi Renee because there are two women, one named Heidi and one named Renee, in Davis, who helped raise the money for this truck.
Wow.
And they got a whole lot of people in the community to take part.
Why is it a refrigerated truck?
So that when we pick up fresh foods, that they stay as fresh as possible.
What's the most rewarding thing about what you do?
We give food to children, we give food to seniors, we give food to anybody that's in need. And that's what's probably the most valued thing out here for any of us.
When we've had too many pumpkins or something come our way, we've been very happy to help make sure that everyone in the community has what they need to have a happy holiday. And I think I'm spotting some water bottles back there. You'll see folks like Fourth and Hope, which is a homeless shelter. You'll see folks like Stake down in Davis, or Davis Community Meals and Housing, Empower Yolo, Meals on Wheels. There's a lot of faith-based organizations, a lot of churches and the like that have food pantries and food closets. They're getting their food either in whole or in part from us, all 72 of them. So they'll come here. Sometimes they have vans that have their logo on them. Sometimes it's volunteers with a minivan or a pickup truck. And they'll pull up here, and then they'll come inside the Nonprofit Nutrition Center, and I'll show you what it looks like inside. So Sutter Health made $1 million investment over the next 5 years in our Nourish YOLO initiative here at Yolo Food Bank. $1 million is kind of like a wow. When I heard we were getting $1 million, I was pretty much like, wow. So Nourish YOLO, like I explained in the very beginning, that's our initiative, that's our campaign to help us make this building do what it was built to do, to scale up our operations and feed all of those 23,000 people in Yolo County. So the reason Sutter Health thought that was really important to make that investment was because they see a connection between people eating healthfully and people being able to prevent diseases and illnesses, or to better manage or treat diseases or illnesses they already have. In this new facility, we've really tried to make the shopping area for our nonprofit partners into more of a retail warehouse experience. So just like they give us food, some of those grocers give us their day-old flowers.
Do the people who shop here, do they have to pay, and what do they pay?
So to shop here, you and I can't shop here. It has to be a nonprofit partner who's a 501c3. That's like a tax code for an organization that's charitable. They need to qualify through the Feeding America program, which Feeding America is an umbrella organization that we and a lot of food banks work under. Once they've qualified, that nonprofit can send its representatives here to the food bank to pick out food. All of the food here for the nonprofits is 19 cents per pound or less.
You can go into the store, it can be $3-4 a pound. It's a huge difference.
That 19 cents per pound is meant in a small way to help offset Yolo Food Bank's costs to have gone and sent all those trucks and all those drivers to go get that food, to run the warehouse to store the food, and to do the rest of our operations. This is the scale where all the food gets weighed. If I'm a nonprofit partner, I get a cart, I load up with all the food I need, I put it all on here, and whatever the total weight is, I pay 19 cents per pound. It's all new that we've got shelving, we've got a display cooler. So these white units down here, that was all of the refrigeration that the entire food bank had at the old facility. Wow. This was a big investment, but look at all that meat in there. So if I'm, say, Meals on Wheels or Fourth and Hope, and I know I'm going to be cooking for a whole lot of people, right? It's really important that I be able to see the quantity of the food. And here is the produce for our nonprofit partners. I don't really know what's in here right now. We'll see. So if I'm one of the nonprofits, I can come in here at 19 cents per pound, get anything you see in here. Oh, wow. Sometimes we get desserts.
What has it meant to this community? What has it meant to you and the people that work here to have the opportunity to be in this building versus the old building?
Coming out of the old facility, we sometimes were turning food away from that facility, which when you know that there's still hungry people out there, that you're not meeting the full food security need, that's a darn shame. In addition to that, our employees and our volunteers are working in a safer environment, plus the promise that it holds for the future. There's a huge programmatic promise and capacity expansion potential here. That means we really can work very, very hard, and with the help of people like all of you, we can work toward meeting that full food security need of the county. It really can be done from this facility.
Thank you so much for serving homeless people.
Oh, you're welcome, Hannah.
Thank you so much for showing us the food bank.
Absolutely, Malia. My pleasure.
Thank you for answering my 100 questions.
Oh, I thought it was 200. Hi, Josie.
Good.
You're welcome, Josie.
Food bank rocks!
Back up again and I'll believe in myself. I got my own inspiration, I don't need no help. We'll all get back up again and I'll believe in myself. I got my own inspiration, I don't need no help. Cause it's my time to shine, my time to find meaning on this whole life. Yes, this world is all mine. It's all mine. Whoa, whoa. My time to shine, my time to find meaning on this whole life. Yes, this world is all mine. It's all mine. Whoa, whoa.
We are the champion, my friends.
Yeah! 2, 3.
We love the Yolo. Retake, reverse.